Illegal Shift interview with former Arkansas Razorback Courtney Fortson.
So what have you been up to recently, and where are you playing ball at these days?
Actually, I was in Romania at the beginning of the season. I ended the season in the D-League for the Reno Bighorns, and we made it to the second round of the playoffs. And now I'm just patiently waiting. I got a couple of NBA teams interested, so I'm waiting on a couple of workout dates. So right now I'm just working out, staying in shape.
Cool. And so how long have you been in the D-League? You said it was just a few months ago that you came in?
Yeah, I only played during end of the season, so like 2 months. I was there like 2 months. It was a nice experience, better than I thought.
Well, before you joined the D-League, how did that come about? Did they contact you or your agent, or was this something that you were looking into? How did that all come about?
I think me and my agent, we wanted to see if any teams interested in the D-League, and fortunately, like one of the best teams was, so that was a good break for us, just to get my foot in the door in the D-League with the teams, familiarizing themselves with my game.
How is the D-League offering you more opportunities to get into the NBA?
Obviously the NBA, the call-up thing, but it's the lifestyle's also like the NBA, as far as the hotel nights and the way we play games. Sometimes we play back-to-back, so it gets you used to the NBA, and I'm just trying to hopefully get a call-up.
And so how does the call-up system work? I know that like the Reno Bighorns, they kind of have two NBA teams, I guess, that oversee them in some way, or are you basically just a free agent that can sign with anybody?
Yeah, with the call-ups, that's like, any team can call you up, but once you get sent back down to the D-League, the teams that they represent, that's the team you play for in the D-League, so that's how that works. Okay.
And so you had mentioned that you had a couple teams interested. I'm guessing that's going to be your main focus this summer is workouts and stuff like that?
Yeah, I'm going to work out in Vegas on probably the 15th. So, a couple of NBA teams want to see me out there, so I'm going to work out for them. Hopefully everything goes smooth and they keep me on the radar.
And so when you go to this workout, is this like a big opportunity where they bring in a bunch of players and every team is there, or is this like for individual teams that are bringing you in for a look?
Yeah, it's like an individual opportunity, so it's kind of better because all the focus is on me, so that's good.
And so can you say which teams are bringing you in, or?
Yeah, I got Golden State, Dallas, Memphis, Minnesota, a couple more teams. Everybody, once the word gets spread, everybody, want to see you.
Right. And so if you had a favorite, who would be at the top of that list?
To be honest, I'm just a fan of the game, and I love the game so much that it really doesn't matter. I just want to play and help a team win. That's it.
And so later on in the summer, is there more workouts coming, or is that just kind of maybe you find out more after this initial workout? Yeah. In the summer, that's when the peak of the workout's going to start. So this is just like a warm-up, just to see where I'm at right now, right after the season. So, some guys sit down. So I guess they're trying to see where my head is. Right. So. Before you joined the D-League, you said you were overseas at a couple places.
Mm-hmm. I was in Romania.
In Romania? Was that the only place you were, or was there? I thought I read in Israel there for a while.
No, it was just Romania. See, Israel had a family, a death, so I couldn't really make it, and they wanted me to make it, so they just blew over. But I played in Romania for 2 to 3 months. It was okay, but I came back to the States, and I liked it a little better. But I just have to see where it takes me.
Right. And so, when you were overseas, what would you say? What would you say is the biggest difference between playing overseas and then coming back and playing in the D-League? Like, how is the game different over there?
I would say it's slower, and it's I would say it's slower, way slower, and it's more, you know, packed in. You know, it's less spacing.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And so before you went over to Romania, how did all that come about? Like, how did you come in contact with a team that was over there?
Well, they emailed me and my agent, and they said they was looking for, you know, they really wanted a veteran point guard, but when I worked out for them, they decided to sign me. So that's how that went. They was looking for a point guard, and they wanted a vet, but they seen me, and they just, you know, signed me there.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm sure you're aware of what's been going on recently at Arkansas with, you know, your former coach John Pelphrey was let go, and they brought in an old Razorback and Mike Anderson. What was your thoughts on the firing of Pelphrey?
Well, I mean, you know, I really don't have no negative thoughts about him. I think he was a great coach. You know, it was just bad timing. You know, everything comes with timing. I think it was a bad time for him, and you know, it resulted in the firing. But I think it's great for Arkansas to have Mike Anderson as a coach. I think that revives the fans, you know, revives the fans and players at the same time, and also the school and the publicity of the school. So it was a great pick for him.
Mike Anderson's kind of known for an up-tempo play, and you're kind of known as a fast-paced guy on the court. How do you think your skills with his coaching strategies would have worked out if you two could have been there at the same time?
Honestly speaking, I would say it would have been no less than perfect. Because I would have played my hardest, and you know, he would have gave us the offensive freedom, and it would have been a great thing.
Well, it was about this time last year, I believe, whenever you had decided that you were going to declare for the NBA draft. And initially, if I can remember right, initially when you first declared, you weren't going to hire an agent. And then, as you know, maybe a week or so later, you had decided to hire an agent and then go fully committed to the NBA draft. What was your thought process back then on why you initially didn't hire an agent and then a week later deciding to finally kind of fully commit to the draft? What was your thought process back then?
I mean, with that, you know, at first I wasn't going to do it until I compared my stats to, you know, all of the so-called, you know, top draft picks that year. So I decided to come out, you know, going off that. And if it wasn't better, it was, you know, right there. So I figured, you know, I was going with that. I guess, I mean, it was just a perception they had about me with the suspension. But, you know, it's cleared up a little bit now. So, you know, it might be a little smoother this year.
And so when you were going through that draft process, what kind of stuff were you hearing from NBA teams and from your agent and stuff? Were you pretty confident going in?
Yeah, because, I mean, like during the first couple of weeks, you know, I was talking to a lot of GMs, you know, a lot of scouts, and it was me at first round, and I hadn't even worked out then. I did one workout in Minnesota. I jumped to, like, you know, first round, you know, kind of early, but with the perception I had, people had about me, you know, that made my status drop. Sort of like a Ryan Mallett story, but something like that.
Yeah. And so, you know, with you had GMs are telling you maybe first round status and stuff like that, and then when you fell in the draft, did you have a feeling that, you know, what was your thoughts with that going on? You know, were you feeling like you were kind of deceived by them, or was it just one of those things you think where maybe they just weren't ready to pull the trigger?
Yeah, I felt like that, but at the same time, you know, it was my fault because it was part of me who got suspended. So, you know, I can't blame him for, you know, just going by what the facts are.
What were some of the reasons you decided to go to the draft? Was it only because you thought that you were going to be an early, you know, maybe a first round pick in the NBA, or was there anything else going on that you know, that made you decide to leave, or was it only because you thought you were going to be a first-round pick?
Yeah, it was only because I was going to be a first-round pick, because I talked to, you know, scouts frequently, and they was like, you know, it was good until, I say up until draft week, last week, you know, it was kind of like, they was like, why did he get suspended and all of this stuff like that, so that's what happened with that.
Okay. And so there wasn't anything school-related or anything like that that...
Oh, no, I love Arkansas. Matter of fact, I stay in Fayetteville. I stay in Fayetteville, so, yeah.
And so do you ever get to interact with the Razorback basketball team in your free time?
I come up there. Yeah, I come. Last time I'm at home in Montgomery now, but I'm coming back ASAP. But every time I come there, we hang out every day. Every day.
Let's say you could go back to a year ago before you declared for the NBA draft. Knowing everything that you know now, would you still declare for the NBA draft?
No, I would have stayed. I mean, it would have been easier if I would have stayed. But it didn't seem like that at the time, though. But if I would have looked back, I would have stayed. Not because of what happened with the draft, just in life, period. Just school, just dealing with life. So I would have stayed.
Okay. And so now that you've had a year and you've gone through this whole process of going to the draft and, thinking that you were going to be a first-round pick and then things didn't work out, what kind of advice would you give to maybe some of these athletes that are, either just made this decision to go to the NBA draft or might make this decision next year? What kind of advice would you give them?
I would tell them, don't be in a rush to end your college life. College is valuable years in your life. I mean, I know some people have family, problems with the family money issues, but if you can stay in school, stay as long as you want. Stay as long as you can, unless you're just a lock. So,
right.
Yeah.
You're in the D League and you're doing these workouts and you've got stuff coming up in the future with opportunities to make the NBA. What do you think the next 3 years are going to look like for Courtney Fortson?
I honestly do think if the team give me a legitimate workout and no perception, I do believe I can make a team and help them.